So I made a video recently talking about how the Bulls, one, have played the most clutch games and minutes so far this season, and they're the #1 ranked team on defense by defensive rating in those clutch minutes with a defensive rating of 96, which is elite level defense, especially in today's NBA where it seems like no one plays defense anymore. And while tonight you would have hoped this was a game that didn't have to go down to the wire against a rebuilding Blazers team that was without one of their better young players in Shaedon Sharpe, but tonight the Bulls proved just that in closing out this game strong and doing a phenomenal job defensively on those final two possessions to secure the win. A game the Bulls needed to have after back-to-back losses against the Suns and Lakers before coming home this week. And while there were aspects of this game that were a little frustrating, this actually was an exciting one to watch for a number of reasons, which we'll talk about in this video. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. But first, a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, Game Time. Now, if you've ever had the pleasure of going to a game in person, it's truly one of the best experiences you'll ever have as a fan, but sometimes the experience of buying tickets isn't the best. Are you getting a good deal? Are you not getting a good deal? Are the tickets legitimate? How do you know you're not being scammed? Well, with Game Time, they take out the guesswork when it comes to buying tickets. You shouldn't have to worry about when you buy tickets to your next big event. Me personally, I've had some bad experiences buying tickets where I got to the stadium and the view was not at all what was advertised, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who has gone through similar frustrating experiences. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater events. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It really is the best place to find last-minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets. With zone deals, you can pick a section where you want to sit, and Game Time will pick the seats for you for big-time savings. And the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So again, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the promo code BULLSCENTRAL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code BULLSCENTRAL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Now, it's games like these when you're going up against a young, rebuilding team, a team that hasn't won very many games this season, and you automatically pencil this in as a win. But I will say, though, that the Blazers, even despite some instances of being shorthanded, have actually played much better more recently. And they're a young, scrappy, hungry team that have a lot to prove. I mentioned before, the Bulls cannot take these guys lightly, and they seemingly do this against a lot of bottom-rung teams in the NBA. And while I'll talk about some of the things that I like from this game, that was the main thing that bothered me about this one, was the fact that there were stretches where the Bulls took their foot off the gas and messed around a bit to let the Blazers hang around in this game, particularly in the third quarter, where the Bulls had a double-digit halftime lead. And at one point, they let the Blazers reclaim that lead on some poor defensive effort by the Bulls and some unforced turnovers. What's crazy, though, is that when I looked at the box score, I saw the Bulls only had 4 turnovers in this game. I thought I was reading it wrong because, while I don't think the Bulls were sloppy per se in this one, there were at times where they were playing so fast and almost out of control that you thought there would be more than just 4 turnovers in total. 3 of their turnovers came in the third quarter alone, which maybe that's why I noticed it more, because I was paying attention to that quarter as it being a really bad one for the Bulls. No turnovers in the fourth quarter at all speaks to the Bulls and how well they're able to lock in closing out games, especially against younger, inexperienced teams. But the poor third quarter aside, the reason I thought this was a much more exciting game to watch on the season is because we actually got to see some of these younger players play more meaningful minutes, with Patrick Williams being out of the lineup. Julian Phillips and Dalen Terry sparked some energy in this game in the second quarter. High effort, high impact on both ends of the floor, throwing up lobs, powering their way to the basket, getting to the line, drawing contact. You know, I tweeted this during the game, and it's something I've been saying for a while now. Julian Phillips needs to play more, especially when you have guys out of the lineup. Give the kid some run. Yeah, he's only 19, he's still raw. It's going to take him some time to adapt and adjust to the speed and pace of the NBA, but you're never going to get him there if he just rides the bench for most of the season. And I'm not saying he should be getting rotation minutes when all the guys are healthy, but even when Vucevic missed some time, or when Patrick Williams was out earlier a couple weeks ago, and obviously Torrey Craig being out as well, he never played. Give him some minutes to see what he can do. Spark some energy into this team, because this kid is a high flyer, super athletic, who can give you some rim protection and finishes well at the basket even for his age. And so to see Phillips come in tonight, have a solid game, this after getting a bunch of DMPs or only playing in garbage time, come in and have an immediate impact on both sides of the ball, was exactly what I wanted to see. Who's going to step up and show why they deserve to be in the rotation? And that's what Phillips did tonight. Making the hustle plays, getting back on D and deterring shots at the rim, cutting the basket, moving without the ball on the perimeter to get open for a 3. 11 points in 23 minutes and a +4 in this game. I need to see more Julian Phillips. The Bulls need to start working on their future, and this is one aspect of it, of a player that shows loads of potential, but a raw project player that needs some minutes to be able to get there. Dalen Terry was also solid. I know he only played 8 minutes, but even in that limited time, impacting the game on defense, helping turn that defense into offense. For me, it's more seeing the young guys bring some hustle to this team. We just haven't seen that. And you guys know me, I'm all about the effort, the hustle, the passion for which players play. And to me, that's what made this game fun to watch, because we got to see what some of these younger players can actually do. And they hustled when they were out there and played hard. And then the other guy I wanted to talk about was Ayo Dosunmu. You know, Ayo is quite possibly having one of the most underrated, quietly good seasons for this team. For a guy who a lot of fans were kind of out on, didn't have a great sophomore season. Some of us thought he wasn't going to be re-signed. Like, we were already talking about how the Bulls in the offseason after free agency opened as if Ayo wasn't going to be on the team. There were serious doubts as to whether the Bulls would re-sign him, and he ended up being one of the last free agents signed last summer to this team. Point is, in a way, Ayo was almost kind of seen as an afterthought. And he's arguably one of the most impactful players this season for the Bulls, with the way he's contributing on both ends, improving his three-point shooting, his ability to get downhill and finishing at the rim, and using his length and speed to be a pest on defense. Ayo tonight, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks. A big rejection, too, at the end of the game that all but sealed it for the Bulls. Outside of that, good game for DeMar, of course. I tweeted this, but as Bulls fans, we get frustrated with the ball just sitting in DeMar's hands at the end of games, or seeing him play ISO and getting up a heavily contested shot all but to miss it or turn the ball over. And yes, there have been some of those instances from DeMar where he almost cost the Bulls the game. But sometimes you just need DeMar to take over and close it out. And he did that in those final 2 minutes when it looked like the Blazers were going to try to steal this game. And to be fair, DeMar, he tried to find others. He passed the ball to Vucevic for a corner 3, clank, same with Coby White. It's not like he was just hogging the ball and trying to play hero ball. He was trying to get players involved, but guys couldn't finish. And so DeMar did what he had to do in finishing off the game. DeMar, 20 points, 8 for 14 shooting, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, a team high +11 on the night. We needed DeMar to win this game for us. For Vooch and Coby, not the best nights offensively, and for Vooch defensively as well, at least for portions of the game. Felt like he was letting DeAndre Ayton walk all over him and give him easy drives to the basket, and Vooch just continues to struggle from 3, 0 for 4 tonight from deep, 6 for 14 overall, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks. And then for Coby White, I mean, for him, it was really just his three-point shooting that he struggled with. 1 for 9 from 3, but he still managed to get 15 points using his speed and athleticism to get to the basket. And he also had 5 rebounds and 9 assists. So for Coby, like we've seen in other games, when he's not able to score the ball as efficiently, is contributing in other ways outside of just his scoring. Some of his threes were really good looks too. They just weren't falling. Would have been a very different game in how close it was if he had just knocked down 3 or 4 of those. Oh, and Andre Drummond also had a solid game. Billy Donovan, went to him, gave him a little more playing time because I think he was seeing that Drummond was matching up a lot better against Ayton. But for Drummond, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 6 for 11 from the floor. Good effort, good hustle, minutes off the bench. So the Bulls improved to 22-25, still firmly in the 9th spot in the East, 2.5 games ahead of the Hawks, 2.5 games behind the Magic. And the next 2 games are games the Bulls really need to win. Back-to-back games against the Raptors and Hornets on Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll see if the Bulls can slowly inch their way back up to 500. But until then, guys, as always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.